Welcome back to another episode of our Kings related podcast, wherever you may be on this Thursday evening, where the Kings get a very much needed stress free win on this night over the Portland Trailblazers in a game where they won 128 to 107. And it was a game where Zach LaVine looked very much like himself once again after his struggles in these last four previous games. You had Domantas Sabonis, who had a massive double-double in this game, and Malik Monk, who missed the previous, I believe it was three games, I believe it was, due to illness. He looked short in his limited minutes that he played off the Kings bench as well tonight, as Sacramento now remains in the 9th seeded spot of that Western Conference play-in game with a 1-game lead with 9 games to go. And the Kings, they got off to a strong start in that first quarter against Portland. 36 points. They were 15 of 24 from the field for 62%. They were 40% from 3 in that first quarter for 4 of 10, and they also very nice job with the basketball. Just 2 turnovers in that first quarter. And they had 9 assists where they took a lead after that first, 36 to 37 in the game. And at halftime, you had Zach LaVine, who has scored 20 plus points tonight for the first time in 4 games, and he did it before the halftime break. And Zach LaVine was absolutely himself in this game, and in a game where the Kings needed to get, coming into this on a 4-game losing streak, and they were literally hanging on by a thread in regards to the play-in hopes in the West, because you had Phoenix. Thankfully, they lost last night, Phoenix, but you also had a resurging Dallas team. But the Sacramento Kings, they controlled their own fate here on the play-in, with Sacramento, you have the tiebreaker currently over the Phoenix Suns, 2-1, with the final game being the final game of the regular season. And you own the tiebreaker over the Dallas Mavericks, 3-1. So you control your own destiny if you're the Sacramento Kings. But just some quick some thoughts on this basketball game, where again, Kings, much needed win after losing 4 straight games. Zach LaVine, as I said, was himself again, and he was active from the jump in this ball game, and the Blazers really didn't have any adjustments to Zach, as LaVine scored 29 points in this game, on 13 of 18 shooting. And what I liked about what Zach LaVine was doing tonight, he wasn't forcing things. I thought he came out aggressive. And if you can get that, the Zach LaVine that we saw tonight, if you can get that Zach for these 9 games left in the regular season, and maybe the play-in and maybe playoffs if you get in there, that is a added bonus for this Kings team. But he was engaged on both ends of the court tonight. It was really nice to see. And next, Mr. Double Double is back. I thought Sabonis in the last game where he struggled, in that last game, he too looked more like himself in this game against Portland. He dominated on the glass against the rookie Donovan Clingan, who he was going up against. And he was also efficient from the field, and he helped orchestrate the Kings offense in this game. So as he posted 22 points, he was 19 rebounds and 6 assists in this game. He was the hub of this Kings offense in this game tonight. And with Malik Monk, who returned in this game after missing the previous 3 games. Malik was coming off the bench in this game, and you had Keon Ellis getting the start. But Keon Ellis, he took the court to open this game for the Kings. Malik Monk, as he did previously when he was coming off the bench, he brought that energy and that scoring punch off the Kings bench. 16 points. He was 6 of 9 shooting in this game for Malik Monk. Keon Ellis, not a great shooting night in this game, but hey, he didn't have a breakout game. Not a great shooting game from Keon, but instead, but his impact was felt in other ways. Keon Ellis, and it was felt on the defensive end. Keon Ellis, 10 points. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and he ties his career high 6 steals in this game. So, and even though he was only scored 10, he only scored 10 points in this game. But sorry, not Malik Monk, but Keon Ellis in this game, if you just look at the box score, was a plus 20 in this game. And he did other things to impact this game. And he did it on the defensive end. If you look at Keon Ellis in this game, just absolutely incredible by Keon Ellis. DeMar DeRozan, not an okay game. If this was an okay game for DeMar DeRozan, it was near perfect for him. As he shot 21 points, he was 6 of 10 shooting. He also added 10 assists in this game. Just he bottled this performance. And Keegan Murray in this game. I thought Keegan, he started this game off aggressive, like he has in these last previous games. And over the last 2 seasons, Keegan Murray, who has struggled, um, to find like his shot when playing against his twin brother Chris Murray. But that wasn't the case in this game tonight, as Keegan Murray came out firing. He was aggressive, and as I like to say, and an aggressive Keegan Murray is a good Keegan Murray. Keegan was 7 of 11 from the field. He had 17 points, 7 rebounds, and it looks like he's found his confidence again. And since January, Keegan Murray has shot 39% from the field for Sacramento. And just the Kings offense altogether, it's a well balanced attack in this game. Just look at it. You had your leading scorer, Zach LaVine, 29, Sabonis, 22, DeRozan, 21. You had Keegan with 17, Malik Monk with 16. And in my opinion, I think this is the best complete 48-minute game that we've seen from Sacramento in quite some time. I thought from the get-go, I thought they were locked in, they were engaged on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively. I thought they were pushing the pace. I thought they were crashing the boards. And in this game, they were doing something that they have been getting absolutely hammered on. And that is opposing teams scoring at will in the paint. And in this ball game, the Kings had 60 points in the paint. Just absolutely fantastic. And they started that scoring in the paint at the beginning of this game, and they did not let up. Just fantastic from this team. It's just a real balanced night by the Sacramento Kings in a game where you did not have Jake LaRavia, who usually brings that energy off the bench. But Malik Monk, speaking of Malik Monk, his first time coming off the bench since November 29th. That is a 45-game span, I believe, since his last time coming off the bench for the Sacramento Kings. And just in a game that you needed oh so much, is the final game of this 7-game homestand, in which you went 3-4. And if I would have told you before this 7-game homestand that the Kings would go 3-4 and they would lose in 4 straight games, I think you would have taken that or wouldn't believe it. But you beat the best team in the East in the Cleveland Cavaliers. You dropped a game that you probably should have gotten in Chicago, and maybe you dropped a game that you probably also should have gotten against Milwaukee, and then you got blown out against two of the other best teams in the league in Boston and Oklahoma City. Plus, you beat a Memphis Grizzlies team that has struggled in the state of California. I don't think they've won this season in the state. So you're 3-4 on this 7-game homestand, and now you embark on your final road trip of the season. 6 games where you'll start Saturday in Orlando, and then after Orlando, you go to Indiana to take on a really good Indiana Pacers team that absolutely blew the windows off in Washington, beating the Wizards, and we'll get into that coming up. But after that, you go to Washington and face a bad, terrible Wizards team, a team you should beat. And then after that, you go to Charlotte, a team that you should also beat. And then you finish up this road trip with a back-to-back in Cleveland, in Detroit. So if you look at this upcoming road trip, if the Kings come back close to 500, you feel good about yourself. And then after the 6-game road trip, you have 3 games before the end of the season at home. Nuggets, Clippers, and that big game for the final game of the regular season against the Phoenix Suns, which could be play-in positioning, plus what also could be on the line is who will host that play-in game. That could be a preview of the play-in game between Sacramento and Phoenix. But Kings get a much needed victory on this Thursday night in a game where they played their best complete 48 minutes in quite some time. Much needed, well balanced game, stress free, and a game where Zach LaVine looked like himself once again, and also Sabonis looked like Mr. Double-Double. And the way the Kings play tonight, this is who we need to see from this team for these final 9 games. You play like this for these final 9 games, you can do something special to maybe get into the playoffs. I think it's unlikely. If you get to the play-in, I don't think they get to the playoffs because I think it's going to be difficult for them. Just look at the teams that they're going to face in the play-in. But much needed. And with this win, you actually ended Portland's play-in hopes. So the play-in, it's down to Sacramento, it's down to Phoenix, and the Dallas Mavericks. So much needed win. And speaking of the Dallas Mavericks, they get a big win in Orlando today, 101-92 in this game. The game of the night was in Chicago, with the Bulls winning by 2 on a Josh Giddey half court from the logo buzzer beating shot to win it for the Chicago Bulls by 2. The previous night, you had the Lakers with a tip-in at the buzzer to beat the Indiana Pacers. And then tonight, the Lakers lose on a half-court game winner to Chicago. Just absolutely incredible um, finish to that insane ending between the Lakers and the Bulls. You had the Indiana Pacers just absolutely destroyed the Washington Wizards. Indiana put up 162 points on the Washington Wizards in this ball game. Just absolutely incredible in this game for the Indiana Pacers. So, and then you got the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are one game. They have the one game out of clinching the best record in the East. You got the Miami Heat beating the Atlanta Hawks by 10. Davion Mitchell has been an incredible addition to that Miami Heat team since the trade deadline. You got the Oklahoma City Thunder winning 8 straight games. They beat the Grizzlies in Oklahoma City. And then you got the Houston Rockets. Incredible. They beat the Utah Jazz. And it's the Houston Rockets team. They're young, they're fun, and they are exciting to watch. I'm really excited to watch that Houston team in the playoffs and the experience that young team gets, because the experience they will get in the playoffs will benefit them going forward long term. If you're a Houston Rockets fan, but in this one, the Kings, they end their 4-game slide with a 128-107 victory over the Portland Trailblazers to get their 36th win of the season, and they end their 7-game homestand at 3-4 in this game. Just absolutely incredible by the Kings as they embark now for their final road trip of the season. 6 games, not going to be tough, but it's a good way. You finish this homestand on a really good note to go out on this road trip, and hopefully you can play like the way you played tonight. Hopefully you can play like that on this road trip. Really good win for the Kings, and it's a strange start time on Saturday. It's 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern time. So Saturday's post game recap might be a little late after the game. So, but there will be a post game. It just might be a little later instead of immediately following the game. But thanks for tuning in to this post game recap of the Kings' victory over the Portland Trailblazers. And if you're watching on our Kings related YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below in the YouTube comments. And if you're listening on your preferred audio platform, please hit that follow button, rate 5 stars. Also, leave a nice little review, be much appreciated, and we'll see you Saturday following Kings and Magic. Hopefully, we'll start off that road trip with a victory, hopefully. And as always, go Kings and light the beam.